Charlemagne, Charlemagne, rhyme. Charlemagne, 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 rhyme. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad hits.
Bullying and harassment.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Shartimus Prime here, doing another Mafex action figure review on the Medicom Mafex Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker Spider-Man. Try to get your Mafex figures, you can do so at
Big, big, big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
While you're down there, I ask you to please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And this looks like a pretty sweet figure so far already. I like the packaging. You can see Spidey right there on the side. And then you can see the different modes. I'm going to call them different modes that you can see right over here. A lot of accessories going on. Looking pretty sweet. He's got some pizza right there on that side. You can see the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse logo over there on the top. And you can see the Patas right over there. Not much more at the bottom. So let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Peter B. Parker figure out of the packaging. And we will discuss the things that I like about this figure. There are quite a bit. And we'll discuss the things that I don't like for sure. But first, let's get a closer look at the accessories. So aside from the 4 interchangeable heads, we get all of these accessories over here. We get 4 sets of interchangeable feet. We get 3 sets of webbing. We get your standard issue Mafex stand with the wider, larger clamp. I do prefer the smaller one. You can see that we get a neck. There's another neck. So 2 necks with the figure. You get the mask, the pizza right here. You get the one right hand with the coffee mug. And then you get 9 interchangeable hands. Holy crap, man. 9 interchangeable hands. And then you get these interchangeable calves right here. And then we'll take a closer look at the wardrobe in a second. But first off, I wanted to mention that I do like the pearlescent sheen added to these webs over here. I think they look really good, so I like those paint apps. However, I will say that this whole hoop around the wrist thing, that is bothering me, and that's sticky tack on my thumb. But yeah, this is just way too visible when I put these on the figure. It just bugs me. You just get this weird white band going around the wrist, and yeah, I just wish they had a different system right here for these webs. Now, the pizza right here does not look too bad at all. I do like the pepperoni slices. You can see the crust right there looking pretty good. It does have this divot in here that I think is meant for one of these relaxed hands to hold the figure. And holy crap, there's a lot of hands. I mean, dude, for real. You get fisted hands over here, then you get web grabbing hands, relaxed hands, and then relaxed hands with a port sticking out of it for holding the mask. And then you get this grabbing hand, and then thwipping hands. You get a wall crawling hand with the fingers splayed out, but then I guess this is a more, I don't know, reachy wall crawling hand right here with the fingers a little bit more bent, so they kind of have a slightly different angle to those fingers. And then you have the magnetic set of hands right over here, which the magnet came out on mine super easy, so I wish they added more glue to these. That's a little frustrating to work with, but you can see an image right over here of the Spider-Man figure up on the fridge. And then you also get the magnetic feet to go along with it. You can see the regular spider feet right here and then the magnetic feet. I do like how these shoes came out, the mix match shoes, where you get a boot on this side. Nice silver paint apps right over there. I do like how the laces are a different color brown, and you do get treads right there. And then the Converse right here looks really good. I do like this. This is great looking. And then looking at the mask, this is really good as well. They've added this port right over here. So just to demonstrate, as I mentioned a minute ago, you have a peg sticking out of that, and you can just go ahead and port that into the hand, which is an improvement. You know, before in the past, I've complained about how hard it's been to get the Mafex Spider-Man figures to hold the mask. So that's cool that they've improved on this. I do like that. I just wanted to get a close look at the mug right here, looking pretty good. I do like that. Oh, you can see that they did put some coffee in there. And then there's your Peter B. Patas right there. There you go. So fairly clean feet for a guy that's, you know, kind of been bumming it around a little bit, right? Now, I'm going to switch these parts out over here. And you can see that we get this beautiful looking coat right over here. I really like this a lot. The buttons look really good. The soft goods on this thing are amazing. You get a nice bendy wire going through here along the whole front of the coat and the collar, so you can smush the collar down. You could pop the collar if you want, either way. Nice little pocket right over there. I really do like the textiles on this figure. This is really good. It also comes with directions when you're swapping out the hands and feet, or when you're swapping out the clothes, I mean, you do want to remove the hands and feet. So there you go. And you can see that. You can this pocket's kind of folded in there. It's supposed to be like that, and you get bendy wire coming throughout the bottom of this trench coat too, which is great. It stops right here on the inside of it, but then continues coming around over there. So that is really dope. I like that a lot, man. So very cool trench coat. I will take it off though, so let's go ahead and get that off. And then you have these nice sweatpants right here looking really good. Very nice soft goods. And what the it's like, if you don't shift this around right, it's gonna look weird. It looked like he was like pooping or something, but yeah, that butt is a little pokey, isn't it? I don't know. Oh, it's just the fabric inside here. Okay, it had a little bit of a fold in there. Guess that looks a little bit better. But anyway, nice sweatpants, no paint added to it or anything like that. So you can go ahead and remove those after you remove the feet, and then you can see the Peter B. Parker calves right over there. Not looking too bad at all. And then to remove them, you just pop them off. If anything, popping in or popping out is a bit difficult, and you want the meaty part of the calves facing inward, right? I don't see letter indicators or anything, so you just have to use your common sense. But yeah, if anything seems like it's too tough porting in, just heat it up with a hairdryer, and that'll help a lot. So that very few times I've had to do that, but you know, it is helpful to use a hairdryer. And then let's just pop on some feet over here, which I love the fact that we get interchangeable feet for this figure. That's always a cool feature for me. I always like that. So I'm going to go ahead and port that on right there. So pretty sweet. Oh, I did want to mention that one of these web grabbing hands had a little bit too much plastic coming out of the bottom of it. So like you can see with this web right here, I got a little paint scuffed on it because I managed to push through that plastic and everything, and it kind of stained the webbing. So keep an eye out for that. I also want to show off how the Marvel Legends cup would look in one of these grabbing hands right here. And I did have to kind of squeeze that in there. There's a little bit of paint rubbing on to the cup right there. So here's looking at the first of the 4 head sculpts, and I love this head sculpt. I wanted to give a comparison right here next to the Peter B. Parker head sculpt from Marvel Legends. Just to get my gripe out of the way, I do like the color on the Marvel Legend figure a little bit more. There's just more richness to it. The skin tone just looks a lot more natural to me, and I like how the hair looks too. It has a richer brown color in it. This one kind of has like a little dusty thing going on with it. I don't really get that, but the sculpt is really good, and when you look at it on its own, it's not bad at all. It's just, I don't know, I just like the tone on this one a little bit more so. But I really like that 5 o'clock shadow. I like how he has a little bit of a smirk right there. I think it's a really good looking head sculpt regardless. And then you get a slightly unmasked version where the mask is just pulled up to the top of the head, and he looks very disgruntled right there. You can see some hair popping out. 5 o'clock shadow still looks great. Very clean paint apps right here. I love the sculpt for the mask. I like that pearlescent sheen that we're getting in that paint right there. You can see the texturing. You can see how we get paint in the cobweb pattern right there. I just really like this a lot. This is kind of something that I'm going to repeat throughout the video, because the texturing and sculpt on this is awesome. Missing maybe a little bit of paint right up here, but still really good. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it does have an interchangeable neck, and it's tricky popping just the neck off, but there you go. I gotta port this neck on right here. It does help when you look at the peg, so if it's kind of pointing backwards, that tends to be the direction these will go. It's kind of tricky finding the trachea, but you want to look for that so that it's facing forward. But anyway, getting the squinty eye head on here, yeah. There you go, not too hard. These masked heads look fantastic. I love this. This expression right here is something that's just very reminiscent to the movie, and I really love that we get this texturing right here in between the cobweb pattern. By the way, I really like that a lot. I love the shape of the dome and everything. It just really looks like Peter B. Parker from the Into the Spider-Verse movie. It really just captures that likeness, and I like this as well. This is really good, even though it's missing some paint across the top right over there. I wish it did have more paint up there, so that bugs me, but I still really like this head sculpt a lot. These look fantastic, man. Yeah, just missing a bit of paint over there, so that's a little frustrating, but what can I say? I still really like it, and the whole figure looks dope, man. Look at this. Oh, dude. Nice clean paint apps. There are slight color differences between the different types of plastic. As you can see right here, the torso may be made of ABS, and then we may get some PVC right over here. So yeah, the color tone is going to be a little bit different, along with the blues, right? You can see the blues are just slightly different from each other. So just getting all those nitpicks out of the way, because to be honest with you, the texturing here just thrills me. I love it. Throughout the whole figure, you get that nice texturing. I'm not happy about little paint pieces missing right over here and there, and I'm not happy with these pegs. That does stand out to me. I wish the color of the pegs were closer to the color of red that we're seeing right here on the forearm and the hand, and I just don't like how it sticks out. Maybe if they had the plastic kind of wrap around the peg a little bit more so, kind of like how we've seen on this one right here, like this comic version Mafex figure. See how the wrist kind of wraps around the ball peg a little bit? This isn't smushed in all the way, but see how they both contour towards that ball peg? This does not have that contouring going on right there. It's just nude ball peg all by its lonesome out there in the air. Yeah, I'm not really thrilled with that, but dude, the texturing, I like how the paunch sticks out a little bit more so than the Marvel Legend version, so that's very cool. I like how the red looks right over here. Fairly clean paint apps, a little bit smudgy over there, but, you know, the legs look pretty clean. So it definitely has its, you know, issues here and there. You get your Peter B. Parker butt, and then the thighs and legs, and we looked at these earlier, you know, fairly good paint apps. So I am mostly happy with this. So as usual, I'm really happy with the articulation on this Mafex figure. With the head and neck joints, you can see he'll move his head up that far, and with both joints, you can see he'll look down that much. You get side-to-side motion, you get great head and neck pivoting, you get the butterfly joints that move forward and back. They shift down and up a little bit. You do get shoulders that swing outward that much. They will move all the way in. Gets a little bit loose over here, but not too bad. Seen it worse on other Mafex figures. You could fully rotate over there. You get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. This side tends to get stuck on me. No, it's working fine. Again, heat up the figure if it gets a little stuck. You get rotation at the wrist, side to side. You could hinge up and down or horizontally, depending on how you have that configured. Diaphragm joint turn side to side. Diaphragm pivot. Crunches forward that much at the diaphragm, back that much at the diaphragm. Same articulation over here at the waist to get the pivot. With both crunching forward, he'll just bend forward that far. Usually used to seeing more of an ab crunch with my Mafex figures. However, this is the Peter B. Parker figure from Into the Spider-Verse, so he's, you know, not as flexible, but he will bend back very far. And then you can see that pivoting over there as well. Of course, you can turn that waist side to side. You get drop down hips right over here, or drop down. Oh, I just popped that off for the first time. And let's see, yep, pops right back in. So with that piece moving downward and moving out, you can move the legs outward that far, can get him kicking that much and back that far. So no 360 turn on that. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then the ankles move down, they move up. You could rotate side to side. You get beautiful ankle pivot, and you get toe articulation for the two Spider-Man sets of feet, but no toe articulation for the bare patas or the shoes. Now, to measure out this Peter B. Parker figure, you can see that it is standing just a little under that 6.5 inch mark. And then for a size comparison, you can see our Into the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker next to our comic version Spider-Man right over here from Mafex. And yeah, the body types are very different over here. I don't have a problem with that. I was just surprised to see that this one is still a little bit taller, even though it's got a lot less mass. And then for your Into the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker size comparison, we have our Mafex figure next to the Marvel Legends version right here. And yeah, I was surprised to see this figure is actually a little bit shorter than the Marvel Legend. I just wanted to bring out the coat over here from the Mafex figure. They're more or less about the same size, right, than the Legend right here. And I'm curious if I could fit a Mafex head on this figure. I wondered, it's not going to work. Nope, not going to work at all. And then here's our Mafex Peter B. Parker next to the Marvel Legends Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse, and I wanted to show these two side by side. I don't think the scale is perfect over here, but not bad. And then here's the Mafex Peter B. Parker next to the Marvel Hasbro basic figure of Peter B. Parker. And then here's the Peter B. Parker figure next to the Toy Biz, not Marvel Legends, not McFarlane Spider-Man, or it's actually the J. Scott Campbell inspired Spider-Man, but I like the body proportions that these both share, right? Like, this is definitely a taller, lankier Spider-Man. I always like that kind of look for Spider-Man. And then here's the Mafex Peter B. Parker next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Badass Spider-Man. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to show some love to the channel by hitting that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new here, as well as the notification bell. And a big thanks to all these patrons and channel members that go the extra mile, showing their extra love for this content by supporting. If you're interested, check the link or the join button below. This is a very fun figure to have. Holy crap, I've had so much fun with this figure. It's really a dope piece. I did complain about it a whole bunch, right? I did talk about the things that I didn't like, the ball joints at the wrists. I don't really like how there's paint apps missing here and there, you know, the color choices for the Peter face and stuff. I have my gripes with it. They're totally there. Oh, the magnet popping out, right? So I'm just mentioning all these bad things because with all that being said, I really do like this figure a lot. Like, the fun factor here is just incredible. I love it. It's really like two figures in one, okay? So I'm very happy with it, and at the price point of around $120, I know that's a lot of money, but I really feel like I got my money's worth with this one. I'm giving it a Sun rating of enough it. And I'd like to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments section below. If you want to see the latest in Marvel news and a photo gallery of images from this video, you can find it over at marvelousnews.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me over on social media, check me out over on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and I will catch you guys later. Peace!
Crispy.
Hey, new Sharpness Prime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face.